Right, where do we go next? We're going to go into some more detailed pieces for the rest of the show. And we come to the big story of the week, which there's been several, which is Beirut, Lebanon. And what we all saw was a massive explosion that rocked the whole city, smashed windows 10 kilometers away, and has killed at least 137 people and injured over 5,000 people to date. Those figures will go up. An explosion so powerful it was felt 150 miles away in Cyprus, and has drawn many conclusions and possible scenarios as to how that took place. Now, it was stated very quickly by the portal people, perhaps too quickly, of a large amount of ammonia nitrate being stored there from a seized Moldovan ship near 7 years ago. But what is not explained is why after 7 years was it still being held there? Was it a tactical nuclear weapon, as some are suggesting? It's possible. Or a DEW weapon, directed energy weapon, possible again, given yet again there was an aerial vehicle flying past just before the blast. I kept an open mind whilst having reservations about one particular group who could potentially do this. But then the media stepped in with a blatant lie. They said the explosion set off a firework factory nearby, and yet despite seeing several videos, there is no rockets or fireworks going off in the vicinity, as would happen should the factory go on fire or be compromised. And yet nobody asked the question, why would you have a firework factory next to a load of ammonium nitrate? So why would the portal people lie? Well, it means they are covering up something else and trying to justify that level of explosion. Now, ammonium nitrate is very explosive, as the people near Waco, Texas found out back in 2013. But significantly, that blast did not produce a mushroom cloud like Beirut. Now, what I've found out this week is that in Beirut, there was 2,750 tons of ammonia nitrate stored. 2,750 tons. But in Texas, there was 540,000 tons. And yet the blast in Texas, despite being 196 times more material, was considerably less than the blast in Beirut, which has to raise red flags and several questions. 2,750 tons in Beirut, 540,000 tons in Texas. So who or what can be involved here? Well, sometimes the most obvious answer is the right one, but not always. Israel has been at war with Lebanon since the 1970s, and it peaked in the 1980s and has gone on ever since. And in our last show, we mentioned about the story of alleged Hezbollah stationed in Lebanon crossing the border into Israel, and the Israeli government warning them not to retaliate after Israeli troops opened fire on them. But here is some questions that need to be answered. Given there are 3 major ports along that coast, Tel Aviv, Haifa, plus Beirut, and now only the 2 Israeli ports are left, is that a coincidence? Given Netanyahu in a UN meeting in 2019 outlined on the map the very same spot of the explosion of the alleged Hezbollah weapon site. And again, is it a coincidence? You decide. Now, there is a video doing the rounds today on social media that is portraying a missile caused the major second explosion, which may well be the case, but with CGI these days, who knows? But the Beirut secondary explosion has more the look of a direct energy weapon, of which there was a test of it in Iraq, which is available on YouTube. Again, you decide. But with the world now waking up to this fake global pandemic, they always need an event to create distraction. Maybe this is it. And with Netanyahu under fire from his own people and a distraction needed for that, just maybe 2 + 2 = 4. And perhaps Mr. Melville and the Trust should reconsider sending PPEs to Lebanon, not Israel. Just saying.